Good morning all. It's Monday morning, and so for some that is but for most of us we're on Easter break, or for a lot of us we're on Easter break. But so I woke up at 5:45 this morning, which, you know, according to my body clock it was 4:45 because obviously the clocks went forward yesterday. I woke up with energy. I woke up feeling good, and people think, how can you get up that early? And I'm like, because I go to bed relatively early. So I went to bed at like 20 past 10 or something, so 20 past 9 according to my body. So of course I woke up a little bit earlier, but before that I spent an hour and 45 minutes with my blue light blockers on, with the TV off, the red ambient light. So my body was 100% ready to go to sleep at that point. Even though the clocks had changed, I allowed my body to make up its own mind of what time of day it was. It wasn't some kind of number on a clock. It was dark. There were no inhibitory signals from blue or green lights going in through my eyes or on my skin, because as I say, I was wearing blue light blocking glasses. I had the ambient light as a red light, and therefore my body understood it as nighttime already, because it doesn't need some kind of arbitrary number to tell me that it's bedtime. And that's the great thing about when you get away from 24/7 lighting. Your body actually says, okay, I could probably go to sleep now. Like, for example, the last time you went camping, and well, everyone goes camping with their phone now, so it's a bit different. But when you used to go camping when you were younger, and you always used to go to sleep earlier, partly because you were bored, but also because you had nothing keeping you up. You weren't being kept awake by artificial lighting or screens, and then you woke up earlier. And so if we take away all that lighting, artificial lighting, and those inhibitory signals from getting into our sleep routine, then we find ourselves switching back to a normal, and I'll put in inverted commas, healthier routine. Simple dimple. And above that, if you are drinking alcohol before bed, you are inhibiting your own body's ability to go into deeper, slower wave sleep. So you are inhibiting your body's ability to repair and recover from the day. And make no mistake about it, like, sleep is the time where you repair the damage that you create through the day, and that's what we do. Being awake or wake time is pretty much damaging time, and the time when we recover it is being asleep. That's why over the millions of years of evolution we haven't got rid of sleep, because it's so important. And for those people that say, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead, well, as long as you realise that you are making that death come quicker, that's okay. Sleep is important. So if you're having alcohol, how does that affect sleep? It affects your ability to get into deep sleep, deep regenerative sleep. It increases your heart rate by roughly 10%. So take an average of 60 beats per minute, so 360 beats an hour, somewhere in the region of 3,000 beats per night. Your heart is working harder by 3,000 beats per night. And there are still those that say we have a heart has a certain beat life, as it were. You have an average amount of beats that your heart will beat at throughout your life. That's never going to be truly tested, but it is an interesting concept. Anyway, but alongside that, it's not just the heartbeats, it's what happens alongside it. So then you have a little bit more a little bit more of an adrenaline surge, then your liver has to work as well, because your liver has to process the alcohol. And then, of course, with your liver working, other hormones have to spike a little bit. So then your cortisol goes up. And if your cortisol goes up, what can't be high at the same time as cortisol? Melatonin. Why do we need melatonin? Well, one of the prime uses of melatonin is mitochondrial repair and regeneration. So if your liver is having to work and you are also pumping out a little bit of cortisol due to the alcohol consumption, your heart rate is up, then what does that do to your sleep, do you think? Well, so if your cortisol is up, your melatonin isn't as high as it could be, therefore you're not getting as much repair and recovery. We already know that the alcohol is impairing your brain's ability to dip into longer slow wave sleep. So we are again affecting repair and recovery there. And so what's going to happen when you wake up in the morning? You're not going to feel particularly great, are you? So at some stage, we have to realise that sleep health, circadian health, is as important as the other bits that get a lot of media attention: exercise, nutrition. Because if you exercise really well and then you have that glass of wine, 2 glasses of wine before bed, you are stopping your ability to repair and regenerate those micro traumas that you caused when you are exercising. And then you don't get the right lights, so that also inhibits your melatonin level. So if you think about it, you can double whammy it up. You can have bright lights on, be drinking and watching the TV, so all of which cause melatonin levels not to be as high as they could be. Then you go to bed and it takes maybe 3 hours for that melatonin level to peak. So that's 3 hours of sub-optimal sleep patterning. Plus, if you've had the alcohol and you are metabolizing the alcohol, depending on how much you've drunk, that could be prolonged for a longer period. You might prevent your melatonin peak for hours, after that. So we really need to appreciate sleep for what it is and what it's able to do. And if you look at the studies, sleep deprivation studies or poor sleep studies, etc., you will find a humongously strong correlation between chronic disease and sleep deprivation. So it's about time that people respected sleep as much as, or knew about, and had, about time that sleep and light health got as much media attention as diet and exercise, simply because it would make a world of a difference to so many people if they got to bed an hour earlier, if they had a better light routine, so they got out in the morning, even though it's cloudy like this. Still worth it for your a little French bulldog came out. Even if it's cloudy like this, it's still worth it to anchor your circadian rhythm and once again improve your sleep tonight. And if you improve sleep, you improve your recovery. If you improve sleep, you improve your mood stability. If you improve sleep, you improve your physical performance, your mental performance. So there really isn't a reason not to do it. Have a great day. Stay healthy.